When I was a kid, my family would, hey, let's all go fishing, and that's something that we can really dig into and has a lot of depth to it that we can go through together as a family.
What fly fishing is, though, is it's so mentally engaging with the river and what's going on. Because it's so engaging with your river, it empties out everything else.
We don't really keep the fish, we almost always catch and release. That's hard for some people to get over.
Patience comes to mind. You have to be patient when you're out here fly fishing. You can't force a cast.
I was used to worm fishing in ponds, so it was a completely different experience. And for me, I kept coming back to it because I sucked at it.
The first cast you make and you throw your line back out and you realize that everything that was beautifully tied is now in a little knot. You go, that's just awesome.
In an angling method in which its origins date back more than centuries ago, fly fishing stands as one to develop itself to become a primal battle between man attempting to mimic nature and the act of survival from the creature below the current. From the outside, fly fishing can present itself as unfulfilling, a time of too much waiting, a time of mindlessness. But for some, fly fishing transcends past the practice of catch and release or the desperation for food. For some, fly fishing has become a life lesson, a component of meditation, a bonding foundation. Underneath, it sets the dedicated free.
I would never call fly fishing mindless. I think it's very active. I think that's why, I am drawn to it, is you're not sticking a piece of bait on a hook and throwing it in the water and, just waiting for the fish to hit it.
So a lot of people that I talk to when I guide specifically, the reason they don't like it is they've never had a good experience with it. They've never had someone with them that really knew what they were doing.
There's 50 elements you have to focus on at the same time. Where's your line? Where's the water? What are they eating? Where's your indicator? All these things have to happen, but at the same time, you can't think. So while you're doing all that, you can't think about how's my family, how's work, what's my finances look like. All this is going on. All you can think about is fishing.
When you see a fish, you can sight fish, and you go through a few bugs until you finally find what it wants to eat. And when you hit that fish and when you land it, that's exciting.
Yeah, and then maybe at home you go home and you can have some quiet time at home, but it's different. I mean, when this area is so vast, this valley, this Owens River Valley, and the fact that we're on, a 500 acre working cattle ranch and it's just us. It even adds to the experience. So it's definitely a recharge to let it all go, and knowing it's going to be there when you get back. I think it's an opportunity that God's given us to come and stay in a place like this. It's special.
It's not like you're running away from life or your trouble, but you're just so engaged with what you're doing. It all, everything else just kind of goes away. You forget about your phone, you forget about business, and you're just really able to be present in nature. And because it takes all your concentration, and of course we compete on not only who catches the most fish, but who's got the biggest fish. So,
the last couple of years I've done this, I want to just be on the river. And I think that's part of learning to settle yourself and not have everything be a competition and not have everything be a race, because I remember times just going, okay, God, please help me catch a fish. God, I'm going to ask you now to help me catch a fish. Now, God, help me to have peace. Help me to settle down. I caught one huge fish this trip and 3 little bitty tiny fish. And I'm happy going home with that. I would have been happy going home without the big fish. It teaches you just focus on what's really important, and the importance is having peace.
If you're not looking around you and embracing the creation that God's created, and saying this is beautiful, and that's the first thing that you would find that's beautiful about this, you're not going to enjoy it.
So we were out here fishing one time. Randy catches a huge fish, and he's going at it, he's hooking it up, and Maldi comes by and goes, "Hey, I'll videotape it. And he runs over to the bank, and he falls flat in, just whoof. And Randy's looking at him, and thinking, fish, Maldi, fish, Maldi.
Who am I going to save?
And I think he saved the fish. Maldi had to get out, go to the car, strip down to his skivvies. Then he took his skivvies off, and he lost his skivvies. And they're out here somewhere.
My phone. The phone worked.
These fly fishing trips are, the fishing's good. That's an important part of it. You know, that's what we do. But what it's really all about, what I look forward to as much as anything, is hanging out with my friends here, with Dave and Randy.
You know, spending, 3-4 days with an individual, you get to know them, versus, 3 or 4 hours going to dinner on the weekends over to somebody's house. You're here with, I'm here with these guys and these buddies, and you get to see how they how they act and how they truly are, and that in itself creates a friendship and a bond that you typically wouldn't get in a day-to-day environment back home.
I live in Missouri, they live in California, and it's a chance over time to just kind of bare your soul a little bit and get to the heart of how life is.
You can be open about your struggles and your challenges in life, and know that you're in a safe place. And I think fly fishing and nature is a good place for that.
That's what this trip is about for us, is that, when we can get out there and I can finish up a conversation or continue a conversation I've had with Randy 3 days earlier, and he'll ask me something about my son or my daughter or my wife, and how's it going, and you finish this is an ongoing conversation that happens. And I think for me, what I get to bring to them is I'm a friend who loves them as a brother in Christ, loves them as a friend, loves them for all their silliness and their ugliness, and wants nothing but the best in their life.
Just with us, obviously relationships, but also with our walk with God, and where we all stand, because it's very rare that you have, I'm going to start crying. I admire and respect Randy and Dave, and they've helped me with my walk, and I didn't have that before.
Fly fishing is great, but it's a lot better if you're doing it with close friends, for sure. I guess that's true with anything.
We're so stressed in life to think clearly, and man, all the time we're thinking and going, and we've always got a busy schedule, and it's not very often in our life that we have an hour just to go experience something, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure to succeed or fail. This whole experience is just being out here.
I think when you're able to walk away from the busyness of life and your obligations for a few days, that's all there for you when you come home, but waiting for you. But, you feel refreshed.
It's a great stress reliever, obviously. I've never been a super stressful person. In general, I'm pretty good at just being mellow. But if I ever do get stressed, it is by far the best way to relieve that stress.
Well, life's busy, man. Life's complicated and busy, and it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to. And coming out here, life's pretty simple.
Most of what it does is just calms your spirit. And, with a calm spirit, you can approach things more humbly and with more of an attitude of compromise, and sacrifice for a relationship with somebody if you have a calmed spirit.
And so each aspect of what it takes to actually catch a fish and bring it in, and all the logistics of what that takes, it reminds me of my own character as a husband and how I should lead. And so each time I'm out here, there's little things like that remind me of what it takes to be a husband. And the biggest thing, like I said, is patience.
There'll be times where I'll be fishing, we're out here with the guys fishing, and but there's a lot of times where you're by yourself, and I'll be praying a lot, and it's just the solitude, I think, really is times where God will really kind of speak to me and just help me through the trials and tribulations that go through our lives. It's a journey, and without Him, it's for me it would be a really difficult journey, because I need Him to lean on.
I think it's important for people to have something like this in their life, whether it's taking a walk or taking a hike or fly fishing, whatever, just to get away and reconnect with themselves, with God, without all the distractions. Man, we live busy and distracted lives, so this does it for me more than anything else, I think.
For people to find their own fly fishing, they have to go find it. You can't just hope it happens, but find what it is that you love, whether it be backpacking, and find the people you love and go backpacking and say, we're gonna do this and we're gonna be gone for so many days and spend time together.
I don't think we're meant to be as busy as we are, I don't.
Yeah, I think I have a couple buddies that say, I don't know how can you be out there and not have a TV and watch Sports Center every night, I think what they're really missing out on is the peace that you get out here, and they're missing out on how you can strengthen a relationship with individuals.
Find that passion, and really dive into it like to its fullest extent. Maybe not quit your job and go do this full time living as a bum, but spend extra free time really digging into something that you can find that really interests you.
Find something that helps you grow in what you're passionate about. And so whether that's a sport or animals or your career, film, whatever you're passionate about, take advantage of those things and use them as a means to not only help yourself grow, but I think if you really are passionate about it, you want others to see the beauty of it as well.
This is an age of no stopping. People are becoming more in need of rest. For some, fly fishing does it. Fly fishing is rest. Time to catch up with old friends. Time to eliminate hurry. When you're on the stream, a hobby quickly turns into a necessity. Because at the end of the trip, it's not about how many fish you catch. It's not about going home wanting to fish more. It's about going home improved, being released from it all, rested.